Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and you have no idea who I am, my name is Chanel. I run a blog called CHANELFILES.com, and over here in this very small but growing corner of the YouTube world, we talk about God, fashion, luxury fashion. We do some vlogging. We love to work out. We love to eat healthy. We definitely love to take care of our skin. And last but certainly not least, we love to live the blessed life. So if any of those things are of interest to you, then I would love if you would hit subscribe down below. And while you're there, hit the bell notification so you are notified when I upload a new video. So as you guys saw from the title of today's video, we are going to be doing my very first Q&A. I asked you guys over on Instagram as well as on the community page here on YouTube. If you wanted to ask me any questions, feel free to just drop them to me, and you guys did. So I have them all here. I don't have a ton, so hopefully this video won't be too long, but I have a few questions that you guys would love answers to. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I have all the questions here on my phone, and if I'm looking down, that is why. But the first question is, how are you liking fillers and what else will you be getting done? So if you do not know, I got fillers for the first time maybe like a little over a month ago, and I vlogged my entire experience. Just check my vlogs down below and it'll be my last vlog that I did, and I brought you guys along with me to get fillers for the first time. So far I am enjoying my fillers, and I did tell you guys in that vlog that I will be maintaining my fillers, so that is something that I do plan on doing, and I actually will be going back depending on when you guys see this video. It'll either be this week or next week, but I will be going back to get another full syringe in each eye because I just feel like my eyes could use another full syringe in each eye. So I will be doing that, and then I also will be getting another full syringe in my lips as well. So far I am enjoying them, and that is what I will be getting done next. So the next question is, are you nappy or are you relaxed? That's pretty much just another way of saying, are you natural or are you relaxed? I am natural. I have never had a relaxer. I don't necessarily think that I need a relaxer. Usually for the most part, I am wearing braids. I did start to wear a U-part maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, but I just wanted to give myself and my hair a little bit of a break from the U-part. So I will probably honestly be wearing braids for the next few months. Maybe towards like the holidays, I'll give my U-parts, another go. But for the most part, I am natural, and I will probably be natural for the rest of my life. So the next question is, hi Chanel, will you be back to New York as a resident, or do you live full-time in the Bay Area now? So I actually got several questions about just my time in New York, my experience living in New York, if I have moved back to California full-time, or do I plan on going back to New York? So I'm actually just going to kind of address all of those questions in this one question, so I'm not going back and forth. But this first question I will answer. Will you be back to New York as a resident, and do you live full-time back in the Bay Area now? So if you don't know, which a lot of you guys probably don't know because this wasn't really something I talked about to the masses, but if you don't know, when I was in college, shout out to Howard, I always knew that at some point in my life I was going to move to New York. I did not know how long I was going to live there, and my stint in New York was that period of time. I enjoyed New York. I definitely appreciate New York for what it is. It is a very fast-paced form of living, and for me, I enjoyed it, but I didn't necessarily see myself living there for the long haul. I even knew when I first moved there that wasn't going to be somewhere that I stayed for years and years and years. And I think in my short period of living there, I just realized that I enjoy New York as a visitor more so than as a resident. New York definitely is for, those people who like a really fast-paced way of living. And that's not to say I want to live a super slow way of life. Definitely not that. But I could definitely say that New York probably isn't for me as far as being a resident. As a visitor, I love it. I stand for it. I love the culture. I love how New York is so diverse. New York is just a place that you will never experience again. I don't care what other major city in the world you visit. There is no other place like New York. However, I very quickly realized that that was cute for visiting, but not necessarily for long-term living, or at least the lifestyle that I so choose to live. So to answer your question, I am back in California permanently. I say that loosely because, to be honest with you, I don't know where God wants me to be. I'm praying about it. Do I want to be in California? Yes, I appreciate being a Californian. I honestly think that Californians are spoiled in so many ways. If you have lived or even visited California, specifically the Bay Area, we are spoiled, like in many ways, like I said. So I appreciate that I have lived in New York. I can say that I experienced New York for the time that I did, but I am thankful to be back in California. There is no place like Cali. I don't care what anybody says. Californians, we have it good. So in this season, right now in my life, I am back in California. I am in the Bay Area, obviously, but who's to say that in the next 6 months or the next 12 months, who knows, I may not be in Los Angeles. We'll see.
So good. Every time. Sparkling water, a little bit of lime or lemon, 2 ice cubes. Girl, you're welcome. So good.
So the next question is, were you always such a stylish queen? Which, first of all, sis, thank you very much. But to answer your question, I've always loved fashion. I've always loved clothes. It was something that I don't necessarily think that I knew I was going to have like a career in. Actually, for the longest, up until I went to college, I actually thought I was going to be an anesthesiologist, to be honest with you. It was always my I guess desire to be in the medical industry, although I also thought I wanted to be like in the CIA, I kid you not, to the point where I was actually like interning in the summer at a police academy. So there's that. So I didn't always necessarily think I was going to work in the fashion industry, but I did always love and enjoy fashion. And when I was in college, that is when I started my blog, CHANELFILES.com. I want to say that was 2010. Yeah, I want to say that was 2010. So for a while now, and literally it was just me getting dressed, my friends taking pictures of me. And actually, if you were following my blog, like truly since my college days, then you know that I would go around in Georgetown, in DC. I would take pictures of people. I would call it my street style portion of my blog. I had a section for my personal style. I had a section for street style, which again, I would literally go around Georgetown and just scope out people, and I would take pictures of them, and then I would post their pictures on my website, and I would share what they wore. I would share what I was currently obsessed with. My blog was low-key like a digital magazine, not even gonna lie to you. And again, if you had been following me from day one, then you absolutely remember what I'm talking about. But like I said, I've always enjoyed fashion. I just didn't necessarily know that I was always going to have a career in it. And just over the years of creating content and, you know, creating YouTube content as well, I just kind of realized like, okay, I think this is the industry that I really feel the most comfortable in. This is the industry that I really feel the most joy in. I changed my major 3 times when I was in college. And finally, I want to say my junior year, when I could not change it anymore, I settled on English, which is now why I have my BA in English. I would consider myself to be a pretty good writer, which is a blessing because that is actually a form of what I do right now. I am a contributor for a digital online publication. So it all works together. But needless to say, to answer your question, I have always loved fashion. I just didn't necessarily know, I guess in the more professional sense, what I wanted to do. But I started my blog and I'm thankful that I did because it is my baby. It is something that has opened so many doors for me. And have I always been stylish? Yes. To answer your question, sis, yes, I have always been stylish. So moving along, the next question is, where do you draw inspiration from? So I don't really know if I know how to like answer that, but honestly, I feel like I draw inspiration from everything, from the trees, from this pampas grass, literally from everything, home decor, cooking, travel, certain colors, certain moods that I'm in right now, to certain people and their sense of style and things that I love about them. And now that I think about it, I actually do draw a lot of inspiration from like the outdoors, whether it's like the trees or even just like the wind blowing on a certain plant and it's a vibe. I don't know how to explain it. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So I don't know. I honestly find inspiration in everything, and I feel like that all just contributes to my personal style. So the next question is, do you do personal shopping? Asking for a friend. And actually, I do personal shopping. It's something that I have done before, but I more or less do it by word of mouth. It really isn't something that I advertise much, although I probably should. But I actually have done quite a bit of personal shopping or closet cleaning, whether or not it's virtual or I do it in person, meaning I literally physically go to the stores and buy things and then come back to you and we kind of walk through everything that I've bought you. Those are all things that I have done before. Like I said, it's not really something that I advertise, but if you know me personally or you are just inquiring about it, it is something that I do. So if you know someone who knows someone who needs a personal shopper or some closet cleaning, sis, tell them to hit me up. So the next question is, are you single and who is your ideal mate? Good question. So yes, I am single. I am single and not dating. I'm just at a point right now in my life where I just feel like God is pruning me. God is working on things in my life. And though it is something that I do pray about, absolutely, and I absolutely believe and know that God has the right man for me. Right now, I'm not dating. I'm not worried about it, although I do have my moments, trust and believe, because I am human, but I am not dating at the moment. And as far as an ideal mate, I'm honestly at the place right now, I don't want to say I don't have a list, because obviously I feel like we all have a list of things that we would like in a mate, want in a partner, so on and so forth. However, I am also at a place where I know that God knows what's best for me. So I would just say the things that are mandatory in a mate is, first and foremost, he has to have a relationship with God. That is a non-negotiable. That is a period pool. That is, it don't matter what else you're talking about. If you do not know who God is, I cannot talk to you. And there's that on that. Now, if you were to just say, girl, well, you know, that sounds good, but what else is on your list? If you just had to give a list, what else is on your list? Tall, dark, and handsome. Duh. I really don't care for short men. I am 5'5", which is obviously very average, but I personally just don't want a short guy, which I feel like most women prefer a taller guy. I actually prefer a guy who is tall and big. I don't really care for like skinny guys, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not saying I want him to be like 350 and up. No, but I definitely do appreciate a guy who is taller and just, you know, has a little bit of weight to him, has a little bit, you know, of a build, you know, not super muscular, but not 350 and sloppy. There's someone in between who personally I think is perfect for me. So God, I know you hear me and I know he's out there. Just lead him to me, God, when it's meant for him to be in my life. There's also something about a guy being like taller and just bigger. You just feel like protected. And I use that loosely because we all know who's protecting us, like really. But I just like that sense of, you know, if we out in the streets and somebody want to pop off, my man got me. You know what I mean? That type of energy. So I would prefer somebody who is ideally tall and, you know, just taller and has a little bit of meat to him. Not someone who's like tall and lanky. No shade, you know, to each his own. But for me, I don't necessarily care for super skinny guys. Good hygiene. I am big on hygiene, and I know we all say that, but I feel like there's levels to hygiene. He needs to be big on hygiene. I am big on teeth. All of my friends know I am a stickler for teeth. So for me, like, his teeth need to be straight. And honestly, just someone who is cool and who is trustworthy, who is patient, because I know sometimes I be working people's nerves. Girl, I work my own nerves. So someone who has a lot of patience and yeah, who is just looking for a relationship. I think sometimes when you're dating, and I mean, I say this loosely because I have not dated in a while, but just from hearing, you know, stories and hearing what my friends are kind of going through in their dating seasons, you hear people who want certain things, but IRL, they don't showcase those things. So I am just honestly praying for the man of God has for me, who is fine, tall, dark, and handsome. He got a little bit of meat on his bones. He got straight teeth. He loved God, and he's looking to be, he is desiring to be a husband and eventually a father. Now, is that too much to ask? I don't know. I hope not, but girl, we just gonna have to see. So the next question is, do men actually attend your church, and would you ever move back to New York? So Men do actually attend my church. I'm actually, I guess you could say, a member of two churches. My home church is based in Oakland. Shout out to Acts Full Gospel with Bishop Bob Jackson. That is my home church, although I have not physically been back to my home church since moving back to California because it was shut down. And I want to say they just opened back up recently. But I also am a member of Transformation Church, which is based in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Shout out to Pastor Michael Todd. Oh my gosh, truly, he is a blessing. If you have not ever heard of him, I feel like most people have, but if you have not, please look him up. He is fire. He is truly a man of God, and he is out here getting the young people together. So I am a member of two churches, and yes, men do attend my church. However, I have not found him in my church yet as of least. I don't know. So yes, men do attend my church. I just have not found my man in my church, at least not yet. And to answer the second part of your question, would I ever move back to New York? Never say never. I don't know the future, so obviously I'm not going to say that I never would. However, if someone were to just ask me right now, would I would say no. And this is, again, no shade to New York because I appreciate New York for what it is, but I just cannot get with the lifestyle. I feel like every day, as soon as you step outside, and honestly, even when you're in your apartment, it's like the drag. Everything you do is like 100 times intensified. Everything is on 1,000 all the time. And for me, that's just not the way I want to live my life. So again, I won't say that I would never move back to New York because I'm not God. I don't know the future. However, at this current moment, right now, today, no. Next question is multiple questions in one question, so I am going to go through this one a little bit quickly. The first part is, how long have you been doing this and what made you decide to pursue this realm of creativity? So I'm going to assume by what she meant by doing this means, I guess, like creating content. So like I mentioned earlier, I started my blog in 2010, and that was before blogging was ever a thing. So much so that when I actually said I had a blog, I had to explain what a blog was. Nowadays, when people say they have a blog, you know, people for the most part know what they mean. But when I started my blog, people did not know what a blog was. Blogging full-time, creating content, being an influencer, although I definitely don't consider myself to be an influencer, but just the realm of this aspect of creativity was not a thing. So I've been kind of doing this, I guess you could say, for over 10 years now. Like I said earlier, I didn't necessarily anticipate or plan on having a career in the fashion industry. This is just where God has led me, and I'm very thankful because I'm honestly using the gifts that he's given me, which I enjoy using. So that is kind of, I guess, how I've come into this realm of creativity. And leading into the next question, what career was I previously in? So generally speaking, for the most part of my like adult professional career, I have worked in the fashion industry. It started out like most of us working in retail, then it went from retail to luxury retail. While working in luxury retail, I would have the opportunity to do personal styling. That is actually where I have met a lot of the people that I now do personal like one-on-one shopping with. And then from there is where I got my step in the door, or my foot in the door, into e-commerce styling. Now, a lot of people don't really know or understand what that is. So really quickly, take whatever website you like to shop. Moda Operandi, Farfetch, Net-a-Porter. When you go onto those websites and you see the model wearing those outfits, there is an entire production team behind that set. So there's the model, you have a hair and makeup artist usually, depending on the budget. You have the photographer, you have a lighting tech, you have all these people, and of course you have the stylist and a stylist assistant. I got my foot in the door as a stylist assistant and then as a stylist. So pretty much what my job is, and what really any e-commerce stylist job is, you take those new products and you create the outfits that you see the model online wearing. So that is pretty much what I did for a few years. From there, I have gone into the freelance sector of that. So doing that, but essentially doing that for multiple companies. And then from there, I have been able to take my experience as an e-commerce stylist, which has allowed me to also get my foot in the door in regards to marketing styling. So doing what I do, but taking it from the website to now working for companies, working on their advertisements and their marketing. So again, when you see advertisements, just like for the e-commerce aspect of it, you have an entire team of people that are putting together these campaigns. So you have your producer, you have the photographer, you have the lighting tech, you have all of these people, your stylist assistant, your hair and makeup artist, and we together are creating this advertisement or this campaign that you see. And that now leads me into what I do today, which is not only freelancing as a stylist, but now as a contributing fashion and style writer for an online digital publication. So to answer your question, all of my experience in the fashion industry is started at a corporate level. Now as a freelancer, I work for myself and I'm able to work with multiple companies as much as I want, when I want, which now that I think about it, it really is a blessing that I do have my BA in English, because like I mentioned earlier, I didn't necessarily know what I was going to use my degree in English for, but it really is a blessing because it absolutely has opened doors for me in regards to now what I do as a writer. The next question is, are you doing any traveling this year, domestic or international? I feel like everybody is outside except me. Sis, it is not just you. Can we please just talk about how I have had so many conversations with my friends over the past few months about everybody being outside except me. And I mean, I'm not mad about it, but I was kind of like, okay, I didn't get the memo that we were like traveling. Nonetheless, to answer your question, I will be doing some international traveling later this year. I don't know what it is, you guys, but I really do love traveling during the fall and the winter. So I will be going on my first solo trip later on this year, which we will talk about later on as the fall comes. But yes, I will be doing some international traveling later on this year, and you guys, I am so excited. So moving along, the next question is, what is on your fall luxury wish list and what trends are you most looking forward to for the upcoming season? So of course, I am absolutely already compiling my fall luxury wish list. If you guys follow my Instagram, and I actually think I posted that picture on my community page here on YouTube, but I am currently obsessing over clogs. And let me just say, I have actually been hunting for a pair of Chanel clogs for probably a year now. And I know I always say that about the things that I like want or haul, but you guys, no lie, I have honestly wanted a pair of Chanel clogs for so long now, almost to the point where I bought a pair on eBay maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm actually glad that I didn't buy them because I know that they would have been too small for me. But I have actually been on the hunt for a pair of clogs for a while now, specifically a pair of Chanel clogs, and I'll insert the picture of the clogs that I am kind of on the hunt for right now. They are that pair of shearling lined Chanel clogs, you guys. They are so good and I want them. And I may or may not be on the hunt for them. So we will see, but that is the first thing that is on my fall luxury wish list. And to answer your second question in regards to what trends am I most looking forward to for the coming fall season, to be honest with you, sis, I really have not sat and done my research as far as like what the upcoming fall trends are. I have a pile of like 20 or 30 magazines that I have yet to go through that are all geared towards fall fashion. So I can't really necessarily say what trends I'm most looking forward to. Personally, I always love texture in the fall, so anything that is shearling, i.e. those Chanel shearling clogs, girl, they're such a vibe. But I love texture in the fall. I love anything that just adds a little bit of oomph to your outfit without adding a lot of volume. One thing about me is I run on hot, so when it comes to a lot of texture, I can't really wear a lot of texture because I will just sweat it out immediately. But if I can find any form of texture on my shoes or on my bag, that is always something that I love adding to my fall and winter wardrobe. I am also low-key on the hunt for the perfect trench coat, and I feel like I've always wanted to add a trench coat to my closet. I actually have purchased several trench coats in the past, but to be honest with you, I never get my wear out of them. I have purchased the more like classic Burberry style trench coats, never wore them, and I feel like those were a little bit too classic for me. And then I went to something that was a little bit more cool and fun and trendy, and then I never wore those as well. So I don't know. I think I love the idea of a trench coat, but I just can't seem to find the perfect one. However, in my mind, I would like to find one. So between a pair of clogs and a trench coat, those are two things that I would love to add to my fall wish list. But in regards to what trends I'm actually looking forward to, sis, I'm not quite sure yet. But while we are on that topic, let me know down below if you guys would like me to do a video sharing with you guys my favorite trends for the coming fall winter season. And girl, I can finally sit down, look through these magazines, and tell you guys what trends I am most looking forward to for the coming fall season. Guys, the last question is a statement and a question in one. So the first part of it is, thank you for being so bold and sharing God. I truly look forward to hearing your God talks every week, and I love how you continue to share God but also implement your love of fashion and style as well. And the second part of that question is, how have you become so bold in talking about God and sharing him? And do you ever feel conflicted on sharing him on your platforms as well as sharing everything else that you talk about? So first of all, sis, thank you so much for your kind words. Every time I post a God Talk video, you guys tell me in my comments or in my DMs how much of a blessing they are to you. And honestly, that blesses me to hear that they bless you. But not only that, and I do tell you guys this, when I share these God Talk videos, these are things that I need to hear myself. This is not something that God just told me to tell you guys. These are things that I have either dealt with, am going through, that my spirit needs to hear as well. And to be honest with you, I don't even know that I would feel comfortable or as confident sharing the things that I have shared with you guys in my God Talk videos if I have not experienced it myself. There's just, I don't know, like a certain level of relatability that I just feel like I have to every single one of these God Talk videos. And that is why I have become so confident and persistent in doing these videos, because it's not just for you guys, but it's also for myself. So I'm glad to hear that they bless you guys, but trust me when I say they also bless me as well. One thing about me is I have never been ashamed to say that I am a Christian. I have never been ashamed to say that I believe in God. I was not raised to be ashamed in my belief in God, nor will I ever be ashamed to say and profess that I believe in God, which, let me say, is not a popular thing. A lot of people don't understand the boldness that it takes and the strength that it takes to share and to profess God, because this world is not a world that wants to hear about God. But I thank God that he has, over the years of me experiencing him, over the years of me growing closer to him, in the years of me going through trials, going through tribulations, having seasons of loneliness, having seasons or going through seasons of depression and sadness. All of those things have given me the boldness that I have today to share who he is. And God has been faithful to me. So I'm never, for nobody, ever going to downplay my relationship with God for fashion, for people, for followers. Girl, please, I am not that girl. If you think that I'm going to downplay my relationship with God or downplay who God is in my life, or just period who he is, sis, I'm gonna tell you right now, this ain't the channel for you. I'm not the girl for you. I love God. God has done too much for me. God has blessed me. God has brought me through too much. I have seen God move too much in my life for me to be conflicted as to whether or not I'm going to share God. So to answer your question, no, I have never been conflicted as to, again, professing that I am a Christian. Now, again, there is a time and a place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, just walking down the street, I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? No, but please believe in certain conversations with certain people or just certain things in life, you'll know, you will hear, and you will hear what I say. Not even because I say I am a Christian, but you'll hear it in the way that I speak. You'll hear it in the way that I move, or at least I hope that you do. That is, the goal in the way that I live, for you to know God, not just because I profess it, but in the way that I live. So to answer your question, sis, no, I have never been conflicted about sharing God or professing God and just who he is. And I do it with confidence. I do it with assurance. I do it with boldness, not because I am bold in my own strength, but because God has given me the boldness. And it is something that I pray to have every single day for as long as I live. All right, you guys, that is it. That is the end of my very first Q&A. Let me know how you guys liked it. Also, if you guys have any questions, per usual, you already know you can just drop them down below or send me a DM over on Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not already following me over on the gram, sis, what are you doing? Go follow me over on Instagram. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And again, while you are there, hit the bell notification so you are notified when I upload a new video. Check out my blog, CHANELFILES.com. And last but certainly not least, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.